Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing tips for Friday, the 22nd of September. The horse racing tips are for air races, so let's get straight into it. So what I've had is, I noticed that Chelmsford were giving away, well not Chelmsford, Sky Bet were giving a free bet away at Chelmsford. Bet 10, get 10 free bets. So I chucked a tenner on something, came placed, got my money back, and basically I'm now placing the free bet. So I would normally probably stake £5, but obviously I'm just placing the free bet instead. So what I've done, I've gone for selections. Obviously I fancy as normal. So basically it's 33 pence each way. Lucky 15 comes to £9.90. I would normally just have probably a 10 pence each way lucky 15 and £1 each way accumulator, but you can't share the lucky bet. You can't share the free bet out. So let me get into it. So the first selection is Sergeant Wilco at 25 to 1 in the 145 at Ayr, paying 4 places instead of 3. This horse showed decent promise on its first 2 runs, came placed, then won its next race. There then was quite a gap between its next 2 runs, and its next 2 runs have been a bit more disappointing. However, they were in better class. They were on ground that could have been too quick, and I don't think this is at the outside of the lot. Don't get me wrong, Kevin Ryan has really hit the ground running. When I mean really hit the ground running, I mean really as in Rarely, as in like he's not. I'm losing the plot. Anyway, let me just get into this. So I'm really tired. So Sergeant Wilco, I believe there's a bit more about this horse than what it's actually shown so far. If it shows some of its early promise, it's got a chance. If it repeats the most recent 2 runs, then it's probably going to finish last. I do think 25 to 1 is too big. It could drift, but I do think that 25 to 1 is worth having a bit of a bet on. The second selection is also a Kevin Ryan in May. It's Queen Me at 9 to 2 in the 250 at Ayr, paying 4 places instead of 3. This horse is dropping massively in class. I believe this is a listed race. It's recently contested Group 1s, and it wasn't too shabby at Ascot, where it was only beaten 3 lengths by, I believe, Shaquille. And then it wasn't beaten too far in its most recent run, behind, what was it called? Live and Let Dream, or Live in the Dream? I do believe this dropping class, this horse does tend to travel pretty well, and I do believe in this lower class it will finish off its race better. Don't get wrong, 92 is not a great price. It's a price of a fancied horse, so I'm not telling you something that people don't know already, but I do believe that hopefully Kevin Ryan's been targeting this meeting or the back end of the season, because he's not had a very good season anyway, and hopefully by the time that this 250 horse runs, it could potentially be having a double. Fingers crossed. So the next selection is Trejo De Techo at 20 to 1 in the 325 at Ayr in the Bronze Cup, paying 6 places instead of 4. And I'm going to forget the trainer, but in fact I'm going to tell you the trainer. Well, first of all, the owner is having a pretty decent season. It's Nick Bradley's colours. And he could have had a number of horses running this race, but he's only got one, or they've only got one, whatever you want to call it. So let's get to the trainer. So it's Roger Fell and Sean Murray, ridden by Johnny P. So the combination, the stable and the jockey is currently going really well. They seem to have really hitting form at the right time. I do believe they had a winner on Friday as well. I do believe this has also got a chance. It's drawn one where generally it does fancy either flank, as you'd be well aware of on Thursday. I think 20 to 1. It's a decent price especially for 6th place, and I think it's got a good chance. And the final selection is Two Rivers at 12 to 1 in the 435 at Ayr, paying 5 places instead of 3. This is trained by Ian Jardine. I do believe it looks like it could be laid out for this meeting. It's off pretty much rock bottom of 49. It's actually been running a bit in and out. when it's been running out, it hasn't been running that badly. But I do believe it's off one of those handicap marks where when you decide it wants to run extremely well or win, well, this is the kind of mark that it's got. I think it's 49. It wants soft ground. It's been messed around in trip by going to a mile and two. I think it wants every yard of this mile at air, and potentially slower ground the better. But I think the ground will be fine anyway. There's supposed to be some rain up until about 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't mean it's bouncing off at ground, but I do mean that it won't get any quicker and it could end up being a tad slower. So those are the 4 selections for Friday. I'll be having a real good study Friday night. Hopefully, I've got plenty to play with from Friday's returns. So the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate. Apologies for all the nonsense talking. So Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.